What happens to your financial life if you're still here, but no longer able to manage it? Most people think estate planning is about what happens after they die. Who gets the house? Who receives the retirement accounts? Who inherits the money? Those are important questions, but there's another scenario that can be just as important, and one many families never plan for. At Socius Wealth Management, we believe retirement planning shouldn't stop at your income, your investments, or your tax strategy. It should also answer a bigger question. What happens to everything that you've worked so hard to build, whether you're here to manage it or not? That's why estate planning is part of the broader planning process that we provide to our clients. We work alongside an estate planning team to help clients think through not only what happens to their assets after they're gone, but also what happens if they're still living and suddenly unable to make decisions for themselves. And that distinction is worth understanding. Today, I want to share 3 estate planning considerations that every family should understand, especially the one most people don't think about until they're facing a crisis. Point number 1. Estate planning isn't just about what happens when you die. When most people hear estate planning, they think immediately about their inheritance. Who gets the assets? How are they distributed? What happens to the house? What happens to the retirement accounts? Those questions matter, but a comprehensive plan should also consider what happens during your lifetime. Your financial life doesn't stop simply because you can no longer manage it yourself. Someone may need to pay your bills, communicate with financial institutions, manage accounts, or make important decisions on your behalf. This brings us to a question many people have never actually asked. Who has the legal authority to step in if you can't? That brings us to a question many people have never actually asked. Who has the legal authority to step in if you can't? Point number 2, being married or having adult children doesn't automatically solve it. This is one of the biggest misconceptions that we encounter. Many people assume that if they're married, their spouse automatically has the authority to handle everything. Others assume their adult children can simply step in if something happens. But family relationship and legal authority aren't necessarily the same thing. If a serious illness or accident leaves you unable to manage your affairs, the people you trust may need specific legal documents already in place to give them the authority to act. Without proper planning, your family could find themselves trying to navigate financial and medical decisions during an already difficult time. And that's the last situation most families want to discover they've never planned for. Point number 3, the goal isn't just to transfer wealth, it's to create continuity. This is where we believe estate planning fits into the larger retirement planning conversation. You spent those decades building your financial life. Your retirement income strategy, your investments, your tax strategy, insurance, and estate plan shouldn't exist as separate pieces. They should all work together. The goal isn't simply to determine who gets your wealth when you're gone. It's also to create a clear path for what happens to your financial life if you can't manage it yourself. That is what we mean by looking at the full picture. None of us knows exactly what the future will look like, but we can make decisions today that will give our families greater clarity when the unexpected happens. At Socius Wealth Management, that's why we believe estate planning belongs in the conversation, not at the end of the planning process, but as part of it. If this raises a question for you or makes you wonder whether your own plan addresses these issues, I'd encourage you to take the next step. Text me the word legacy, and I'll make sure that you're included in our next educational estate planning webinar where our estate planning professionals will walk through these issues and the options available. Because good planning isn't only about deciding what happens to your wealth, it's about making sure the people you trust know what to do when you can't.